He'd heard about a country where life might let them win. They paid the fare to America and there they melted in. A lovely lady Liberty with her book of recipes and the finest one she's got is the great American melting pot. The great American melting pot.
The transition to America was portrayed to be much easier than it really was. Immigrants soon realized how hard it was to move to America and leave their homeland.
Pretty poorly, you know. People made fun of you, didn't speak the language. It was very difficult. It was more difficult for my sister.
Yeah.
Oh, Canada.
This is the story of Maurice Bastarache, a Canadian immigrant who came over to America in 1965.
Maurice lived in a very, very rural area of Canada. His family had over 400 acres and they were very self-sufficient. He grew up in a very hard-working household in which every person had a job to do.
Like growing up in Canada.
It was a small rural Canadian village, 300 families, all French, mainly farmers and lumberjacks and fishermen. Very simple life, very family-related, our relatives in the area.
As a child, Maurice helped manage the land. His father owned a tractor and he helped him around the farm. There was a lot of space and fresh air. Maurice loved the openness and freedom that came with it.
Maurice excelled in school as a young child in Canada. He never had any difficulties in school and was just a normal kid.
Mo's father was a lumberjack and was the main source of income for the family. However, the price of pulp went down and forced his dad to leave for America without the rest of the family. Luckily for his father, he was able to continue being a lumberjack when he got to the States.
Was it hard leaving Canada?
Very difficult.
What did you miss about it?
Well, the language was a big problem. Learning to speak English, miss all your friends, miss the space. Went from a single home and 300 acres. I rebelled. I basically, I wouldn't salute the flag. I got fist fights all the time. I was just not a happy camper.
Yeah.
But then, you know, that got all settled. You know, all I needed to make a couple of friends. They really tried to help us. I had one special teacher that really helped me get through a lot of it. She really took a lot of interest in me personally. It was a single house that converted to a four. So there was probably 12, 15 people now between the four apartments.
In America, Mo had his fair share of difficulties in the classroom. He not only got into frequent fights, including one on his first day of school, he also struggled with the language barrier in class. Maurice also had trouble leaving Canada behind and refused to salute the American flag.
Yeah, there was a little kidding, a little teasing. There was always a little. It was different then. You know, everything was broken off in sections. Like you had the Italian church, you had the Irish, and that's what they called it. So it was just separation, but it was.
No violence, no.
Well, there was a little bit, but nothing more than you see average stuff.
What do you consider like average stuff? Like just fist fights, I guess.
Fights, making fun of each other, and calling each other names, typical stuff.
Clearly things weren't easy at first for Maurice, and he had to learn things quickly. However, he was able to do that and live a successful life in America.
More opportunities. Basically, you could get jobs when you're a kid. You had to start working earlier. Just more opportunities.
Did other immigrants from Canada feel the same way about work in America?
Pretty much. The younger kids. A lot of them went back to Canada when times got better. A lot of them still stay here.
Many Canadians emigrated from Canada around the same time Mo did. Many of them went to New England alongside Mo and his family, and many families even went to Waltham, Mass. as well.
Your friends a little bit?
Basically, most of my friends are either Irish or Italian. Like, the French community was just moved into the area. So most people I met were Bill Carter, who's still my partner in business. John Sweeney, who I still do business with, he was his first generation immigrant. He moved here in '64, I think, from Ireland. Yes, yeah, they tend to move into groups. So, all the unit we lived in was all people from our village. It was all. People tend to go where they know a lot of people.
The transition of moving to America was made easier for Maurice because he had a family and friends that he came with. Many immigrants also did this during this time period.
How did the treatment you received change over time? Was it better or worse?
It got better as I got more mature to understand it better. I think,
Everything personal?
Yeah, everything. And once you get to know most groups, it all blends it together.
As Maurice matured over time, he soon realized that he couldn't take things so personally in America.
Yep, most of the men came up here and worked. I'd say 25% of the community I came from was in the greater Boston area.
The new immigration laws of 1965 allowed the United States to have more immigrants than in years past. This made immigrating to America much easier, and that's why there was a huge surge in immigration numbers from Canada.
We kept our house in Canada. We still we're French Canadian Catholics, and we still do all the Catholic. We haven't done this Christmas in Canada since 1973. We still celebrate Canada Day, the regular stuff.
America in the first couple of years? Did you miss Canada want to go back?
I hated it. I just didn't feel like I belonged. It was not pleasurable. That's just a young person trying to adjust.
Maurice really wanted to go back to Canada. However, he knew all of his best opportunities were laying ahead of him in America.
Most telling tales that they threw me out of school because I wouldn't salute the flag because I didn't think it was my country. And I went home. My father said, "You're in the country, salute the flag." And that's really, he said, you got to fit. That's his way of saying you got to adjust the way you are.
Maurice, like many other Canadian immigrants, quickly realized that he had to adjust to survive in America. And that is just what he did.